Well, greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It's Thursday. It started out beautiful and sunny, but now it's clouded up, and we've got about a 66% chance of precipitation, i.e. snow tonight. So anyway, I just wanted to welcome the world back to the sCRAP house and give you a little bit of an update of what's going on. So I've been working on putting some shiplap style wall up on the other end of the greenhouse, and it's approaching finished. I don't like that word all that great because nothing's really finished. Okay, so the functionality is almost finished. So I've almost got the enclosure complete, and you know, the from the outside to the inside all buttoned up. As you can see, there's still a little bit of work to do to finish that. But it's been nice and warm in here in the greenhouse today, and much more comfortable environment to work outside in. Also, when I'm done doing this enclosure here, I'm going to turn inside and start building a small shelf for the camp stove, which is just a little wood burning stove, and it's going to help heat the house and keep it warm. And I've already got some of the preliminary stuff done as far as what I plan to do and where I plan to locate it. And I've got my fire up and running because it's starting to get a little chilly outside. So that is an update that is on its way. And so I'm going to patch this up and get this kind of finished, functionally finished, and get back with you, bring on some more updates as time goes on. So anyway, welcome back, and it's another glorious day in Oxford, North Carolina, although a little on the chilly side. And I don't know what it is about this last week, man. I mean, the cold has felt really cold, and I've been dealing with the cold all winter, all fall, I guess, and it hasn't really bothered me or affected me all that much. But this week in particular, it's just felt colder, even though the temperatures have been higher. So not everybody's complaining about being tired, although I must say most of the people that have been bitching about being tired have been jabbed. So that being one of the side effects that's been observed and reported by numerous sources over the last many months, it's hardly surprising. It's a little bit concerning for the health and well-being of those people, but unfortunately they made a choice, and despite our best protests and warnings, and decided not to err on the side of caution. So anyway, let's see, aside from that, it's a beautiful day. The peace of nature is stunning. It's nice and quiet out here. Fire's roaring. So our heat supply is up for tonight, and I need to get back to it so that before we run out of daylight, I can turn my attentions inside to the camp stove and say, holy smokes, that's a big bird, and get some wood fired heat for the house tonight. Maybe we can bring the temperature in the house up to I don't know, 60, 70 degrees. That would be perfect. And let's see, last night I did I don't know if you can see it real well, but I put a sleeve around the feeder hose from the rain barrel water tower to try and keep that from freezing. And I woke up this morning and did not have a frozen water line or anything like that. So that was successful. That's good stuff. And anyway, coming right along. For now, it's back to work, and I'll take some pictures and a little bit of video, and say thanks for watching, and catch you on the flip side. Peace. So, ladies and gentlemen of the world, we have yet another momentous occasion here. The camp stove that Mom purchased for the heating of the house is now installed. And of course, it's probably not in its final incarnation by any stretch of the imagination, but like I said, and like most of the things that I do out here, It's function over form, and right now it functions, and that's awesome. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. So I'm all prepped for my shower. I can take a nice hot shower. I'm warming the place up. Well, not yet. As soon as I close the door, I'll warm the place up. But I'm getting the place starting to warm up. And I do need to clear out some of the smoke because I had to get the camp stove started. It didn't flood the place with smoke too bad or anything. But it did leak some smoke, and that's probably upstairs. And I wanted to ventilate it a little bit. So momentous occasion. I'm doing a little bit of chopping, a little bit of extra wood from the pallet harvest this week. And so I've got a few more pieces that I need to cut outside that I doubt very much you're going to be able to see until I get this light on. Ah, there we are. So I've got a couple other pieces of wood here. It is now beginning to snow, which I can't see on the screen, and I doubt very much you're going to be able to see it on the screen. Well, there's a chunk. Nice. So yeah, it's now snowing here in the lovely village, town, city, whatever of Oxford, North Carolina, and we got a camp stove running inside, which is going to heat the place up, so I'll be able to take a nice hot shower, and I'm going to fire up the buddy heater, the little propane powered buddy heater, and let that go also while the camp stove runs, and should get nice and toasty inside. Should be great for a hot shower. So for now, enjoy the peace of nature and the campfire outside. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's Saturday morning here in sweet Oxford, North Carolina, with a high temperature today of 32 degrees, which is going to be cold, and the low temperature is 15 degrees for this evening. So, needless to say, I'm very glad that I installed the camp stove yesterday, and after some continuous monitoring, I've learned a small lesson here. I knew and expected that the chimney was going to get good and hot, but as you can see, we've actually got a little bit of charring going on around here, and the same persists on the exterior wall. So I'm not exactly sure what I'm supposed to do here if I were a professional in the field, but as a man who's not a professional and also an idiot, this has been my approach. And we've got rock wall insulation inside. Rock wall, of course, is fire retardant, so I was aware of that. I also monitored this situation very closely last night to make sure that there wasn't any fires or embers or anything. You know, we're not burning down the wall or anything like that. And was standing by with a little fire can, you know, just some spray bottle of water in case anything very undesirable took place. And of course, nothing did. So just be mindful of that if you're going to do something as batshit crazy as I'm doing out here. People have done it in the past, they'll do it in the future, and I look forward to seeing reports of people's successes and failures as time goes on. And of course, hopefully the world will sever its ties to the criminal empire and declare their own fucking independence, because freedom don't mean shit if you ain't got independence. As we can obviously see over the last year, everybody's quote-unquote freedoms have been taken away, which, you know, freedom is a mindset. It's in your acts, it's in your feelings and thoughts and behaviors. You were born free. You are already free. So the question is, how are you surrendering your freedoms? Therein lies the fundamental question. Anyway, back on the topic, this project is all about independence. So as we learn from a non-professional standpoint, we learn a little lesson. So I'm going to remedy and mitigate this little situation today for my first order of business, and then next I'll head back down to the greenhouse and finish enclosing that. And I had a neat idea for the doorways. Instead of, you know, just your usual swing doors, I might actually use like a heavy flap door from the ceiling. And we're just going to see how that works and how it turns out. But very pleased with the camp stove. It kept me nice and warm upstairs last night. It was 65 degrees was the high temperature that I noticed. And then last night when I was retiring and I was done loading the camp stove, I decided to light up the little propane buddy heater and leave it on low setting overnight so that there would be some overlap and at least a source of heat in the house. The propane buddy heater does a nice job, but it can only elevate the temperature so much. And eventually I'll have baseboard heaters probably on that wall and this wall over here that'll be fed by the methane gas from the biogas digester once I get that set up. So there's much to do, but every time I come out here, we get one step closer to independence. So we are now water independent. We are shelter independent, of course, obviously. We are not quite fuel independent, and we're not food independent, but we're getting there. We're getting there quick. So and of course now, oh, it's great. We're shower independent. That's just a lovely development, especially here in the cold winter. So we're electricity independent, we're shelter independent. Let's see, food, we're water independent. So those are the three of the four elements. Three of four elements. We get water, food, shelter, and electricity, and we're missing food. So next major priority, and then the biogas digester will be a great thing. That way we're fuel independent. And but there's a lot of elements that I need to incorporate into the greenhouse before we can really start making the move towards food independence. And I've elected to go with the rain gutter garden system. And if you're not familiar with that, it's a very simple, easy way to sort of automate your plant watering and sometimes nutrient delivery. So if you don't know about the rain gutter garden system, I highly recommend you plug it into your search browser and check it out if this sort of stuff interests you. So anyway, I'm going to get to it and I'll try to take some pictures and maybe a little bit of a video to document it, and hope that you all have a wonderful time. I'm going to have a good time. Peace. So we've had a catastrophic failure of the camp stove. It set fire to the wall. So I spent the last hour. Happily, my buddy has arrived so we can do some shooting. But spent the last hour extinguishing a fire. Happily, we were able to mitigate the damage. I'll have to rebuild this wall, I imagine. So, par for the course. Had to extinguish the fire like old school people with buckets of water, but thank God I had the rain barrel water tower and running water. Without that, the whole place would have burned to the ground. And God willing, we can rebuild it when I get back. So this will be occupying some of my time for a while now. So enjoy the sometimes destructive piece of nature.